Welcome everybody to the Brooklyn Racing League. This is the Season 12 GT3 Sprint Championship. Round 4 here at the Nordschleife. And a new concept has been brought forth for this particular race, because it is a long track. This is open qualifying for this whole remainder of the session. It's 17 minutes and 43 seconds left to go on the clock, but this is all qualifying. They started this out with a 5-minute practice session, followed by an hour and 45 minutes of qualifying. So all the times you see on the board are going to be accurate for what they're doing in the race, or for the session results, which will transfer over to the race. Trey Mistack is provisional pole at this moment, with Tyler Anderson just shortly behind, off by about 9/10 there. Qualified Christopher Daniel 1.5, Dom Ford 2.7, and the list keeps going. Parks De La Cruz in 7th. I think that's a new driver. I haven't seen that name before. Let's see, he's out there on track. I'll take a look. Oh yes, this is one of those part of the pro drivers, pro class drivers, and it definitely is gonna be it's not on my list here, which is interesting. But the 212 people, I keep seeing there's a couple of drivers that had those liveries with the 212 on the side. Nathan Ray joins us with the Pax Oceani. I'm not even sure if he's in the team, but he's repping their logo there. He's in 8th at the moment. I'm going to see if there's any drivers. Zachary Hinterhoff. Been a while since I've seen this driver on the grid, but he has raced with us before, I believe. He is part of the Pro-Am class. And Matt Benson. I think I've seen this driver before. He's in the Pro class. Yeah, Matt Benson is 10th in the rankings right now. And he's been at every event. 1, 2, and 3. And there's Connor Greer in the AM class. If Connor Greer's done anything here, don't see the name in the AM class, so see what he's made up. He's in 30th right now, just ahead of Steve McAllister. And a new driver that's joining us, and I have not seen this name before. Matheus De Paula. First race for sure. I remember this name. Jason Chen is with us in P35. That is Tom Smith. Ooh. I'm trying to hijack the chat there. Who's out there on track? Alright. With 13 minutes 49.8 seconds to go, qualifying is still out there. It's been an hour and 45 minutes of qualifying, which is a staggering qualifying session. An open qualifying session, really give people a chance to set their most optimal lap. So no one out there is just trying to get some time in, some practice. This isn't practice on this session. That is a off track for Nicholas Mazza, and that it will invalidate the rest of his run here. But speaking of that, Nicholas Mazza is the driver in P1 in the Pro-Am class. The pink, that purple accent is the Pro-Am class driver of SimCity Racing. He's finished pretty strong in Watkins, Sebring, and Barber, leading by just 10 points, or 11 points, over Chris Chitterling. And Chris Chitterling is behind him in P2 in that championship, but in 12th at the moment on the grid. John Trevecchi in P3 in that championship. I'm sure this is going to be one of his might be his off week, or no, he's out there. John Trevecchi in P17 running out there. And that'll be for the Pax Oceani Silly Gooses. Going back up to our P1 driver of Trey Mistak in the Pro-Am, or the Pro class, leading by a good margin, 160 points, maybe 140, to JD Daniel. JD Daniel, who I'm not sure if he's out here. Go look. I don't see JD Daniel. Maybe he'll join us, but I mean, it's pretty late. So no points given for JD Daniel on this run. As the Pax Oceani, Ronnie and Clyde for JD Daniel. But then he's got Eric Neville here in P10, who is third in the championship. And he's out there on track. And he's part of the Pax Oceani Potato Pop team. And going further down the grid, we went from Pro-Am to Pro to... Let's see where our other drivers are doing. We have Craig Carroll, who's in the pits. Caffeine Global Motorsports. He is P1 in the AM class with Chaz Mizuko in second and Brandon G. Burns in third. Now, interestingly enough, Caffeine Global Motorsports, and I'll go over to his teammate here, Steve McAllister, who's out there on track. They are second in the championship right now, and the team standings is all relative. So the amount of points they're getting per their class is relative. So everyone is actually fighting in the team championship. And it's going to be really interesting because right now we have the Pro-Am drivers of Chris Chitterling and Charles Whedon of Little Lugnuts Racing. They are P1 in the championship with 110 points difference to Caffeine Global Motorsports of Steve McAllister and Craig Carroll, who are in the AM class, followed by the Pax Oceani Ronnie and Clyde of Chris Daniel and JD Daniel, both pro, no relation. Pax Oceani Ronnie and Clyde, they are another 100 points down to P2, which is alarming. SimCity Racing and Nicholas Mazza and Chris Stewart are in fourth with a 200-point difference to P3. And then Tyler Anderson, Cooper McCoy, this could be a good haul of points for them. Tyler Anderson sitting in P2 right now in the open qualifying, and that's the Dissidents racing team. He's a pro driver. Cooper McCoy is a Pro-Am. And then followed by Drap Punk Gold, Elliot Burton and Trey Mistak, both pros in P6. A lot of things happening there. Going back to the Craig Carroll is P1 in the pro in the AM class championship, doing really good at Sebring as well as Barber as well. But Chaz Mizuko and Brandon G. Burns, Chaz Mizuko's here tonight. This might be a down week for him. Oh, there he is, P19. He is in the pits. And Craig Carroll is behind him in 24th. So they'll be battling it out for that P1 spot in the winner for the AM class here today. Brandon G. Burns has been at every race. Did really well for himself in the Sebring and Barber. But I'm not sure. Go Matt B and Connor G. Oh, Connor Greer, I'm going to assume. And Matt B would be Matt Benson? Is that the guy? I swear. Yeah, here he is. And Matt Benson. Matt Benson's 29th and Connor Greer's P31. This is open qualifying, so what they're setting out there on track is going to carry over for the race. An hour and 45-minute open qualifying, which honestly is really well deserved, because trying to line up any good lap here is going to be difficult on its own. Staying within those track limits is not easy to do. Brandon G. Burns has been at every race so far, every round here so far, but is not going to be here for this race. Don't see him on the list. Nordschleife's a tough track. I sometimes forget where I'm at, where the driver is actually at. I guess in general, where every part of this track really lines itself up. Once I know they're at the second carousel, I know they're at the top of the hill. When they're at the first one, I know they still got a whole ways to go before they get to that second one. That's as good as it gets for myself here at this one. Michael Oceans, Noah Hoskinson, Tyler Cayo, also in that 212 Racing livery. There's a bunch of guys that have been co-opted into this league here, running that livery. Probably his first race with us. I don't think I've ever had to say that name before. We have 37 drivers who have set times on the board. There's 5 drivers that are trying to set a time on the board. And 5 drivers that are going to opt to not set a time on the board because they have not gone out. They have registered, they're here, but they have not done any time or laps at all. Let's see what they can achieve here is Tyler Cocayo. Cocayo? Right now, he's at his 640 predicted. Best we've had is Trey Mistack at that 631. 634.1. Trevor still has a ways to go before he is done, and that is it. There's the second carousel. Couple more turns, couple straightaways, once time canted, and then he'll be across that line. This is a driver, still has not set a time on the board, and will not have the opportunity if he doesn't nail this lap right here. I mean, he could still go across the line, and I don't know how much time they're going to give post everyone crossing the line to go again. Not a lot of people. This is an hour and 45 minute of open qualifying. So what you see is basically what you get here. I think it's going to be interesting. Peter Flanner is opting to do the last to first challenge this season. That's why the former Draft Punk goal driver is in the pit lane himself. as Noah Hodgkinson had gone across the line and set a time on the board at P18. Tyler Kokayoko also sets a time at P21, and he's across. Jeff Lubitsch is... He's got a little ways to go. Little ways, a lot of ways. Man, that is what you consider. Kyle Howe crosses line, actually gets time on the board there, and he goes P38 there. So we have 47 drivers that decided to make this trip for this race. It is going to be a very long 45 minutes for some of these drivers. Jeff Lubitsch, who is sitting in the AM class there for Draft Punk Bronze. P11 in the AM class. He's got Lars Chihus. Oh man, I can't say that name at all. He's just ahead of him. Rafael Santos just joins. James Pierce is joining. Ryan Bird out there in P41. So a few drivers that are out there and trying to set a time on the board. That's James Pierce at 212. And he was a fast driver, if I'm not mistaken. Rafael Santos just behind him there. Ooh. And that is going to be it for that driver. Unfortunate. And Nicholas Mazza gets by as well in that incident. Drivers that are still out there. Tyler Anderson trying to set a time on the board. How's it going, Pax Oceani guys? Christopher Daniel there in P3 at the moment. Eric Neville of the Pax Oceani Potato Pop out there in let's say P10, yeah. Alex Authen in 14th. John Javecki in 18th. All sister teammates. Did anyone's team have a full group right now? JD Daniels not here. Matthew Baldwin, is he here? Nathan Ray up. Oh yeah, Nathan Ray on his debut. Pax Oceani as another driver gets converted to the Pax. Ooh, there's Rafael Santos into the side. Unfortunately, it's going to drop his chances. He's going straight to the back there because that was his only chance of qualifying, and that is it for him. Chris Schierling is out there on track trying to make something happen. Matthew Baldwin, did he show up? He did. He's out there. So the Pax Oceani Potato Pop is the only team in the Pax Oceani that has a full group there. John Javecki, Pax Oceani Silly Gooses of John Javecki and Alex Authen are out there as well. So it's only JD Daniel that's letting his teammate down. Just kidding. As we still have a couple of drivers out there on track that are trying to set times on the board. Christopher Daniel in the middle part of this section, basically on the opposite side to where the start straight is. In third, he needs to make up a 1.5 second gap. And I'm not sure exactly where he'll be making that up, where his confidence is in this track, but at 1.5 it's going to be really rough. Joshua Grosso is out there on track, still trying to make something happen. Marshall Scari in P26. He's also trying to have another go at this. Tom Smith also out there. Matt Benson. Ooh. Jeff Lubitsch crosses the line and goes to P31. That was an impressive form for him. He gets closer to his rival, Craig Carroll there, who's P1 in the AM class. P28. Another one is James Pierce. He's on an outlap. He's gonna have zero ability to get a lap in. Maybe this is just practice for him. Yeah, he's definitely not going to be able to qualify. And it's unfortunate. It was an hour and 45 minutes of an open qualifying session, which I think is generous. Allows people to really, like, take their time, get that really good lap in. Some people did just do a one and done and called it good. Once they got a lap in, they were fine with it. That is that driver, Austin McGill. Oop. Oh, that's on me. Who is it here? Tom Smith. He is ahead here. Actually, Marshall. What's this guy's name? Marshall Scary. He's going to be the first driver left to cross this line. And end qualifying. He's P26 at the moment. He's in the AM class. Blue accents there, you can see he's going into the pit lane. Okay, so it's not going to be him. Tom Smith, he is out there. And what can he do? Can he improve his time? He crosses the line. We'll see in a second. As it updates, it looks like his last lap was faster, but not fast enough. So he only improves his time, not his position. Joshua Grasso goes to P4 with that finish. It's an impressive display. It's Christopher Daniel, the other driver out there on track right now. Two more. That's James Pierce and Tyler Anderson. Tyler Anderson's just behind Christopher Daniel here. And he goes into the pit lane. All right. And Tyler Anderson calls it. James Pierce goes in the pit lane. And that is qualifying, folks. And just to get to this quali promo real quick, I'm gonna hit it. Alright, and we're back. We have 3 minutes, 45 seconds overdone, dusted with qualifying. It is technically over. James Pierce is still going for it. He's in the first sector. None of this is really going to change anything. But look, let's look at the grid. You can see who's in P1 through 15 on there on the side there, the leaderboard. Chris Stewart is in P16. P17, Andrew Korostecki. John Javecki in P18. Noah Hoskinson in 19. Eric Koonsman in 20. Tyler Keiko in 21. Chaz Mizuko in 22. Dean Dilts in 23. Zachary Hinterhoff in 24. Matthew Baldwin in 25. Marshall Scary in 26. Jason Chen in 27, Craig Carroll 28, Jamie Jen in 29, Tom Smith in 30, Jeff Lubitsch in 31, Michael Oceans in 32, Tyler Kern in 33, Charles Whedon 34, Matt Benson 35, Steve McAllister's in 36, Dave Palmer in 37, Connor Greer in 38, Kyle Howe in 39, Scott Weber in 40, Matthias De Paula in 41, Ryan Bird in 42, Peter Flanner, Christopher Roberts, Ken Poulin, Rafael Santos, and James Pierce. They will get shaken up here at the bottom of the order. And I believe it's just when they came into the race, when they came into the session. I could be wrong on that one. But 43, 44, 45, 46, and 47 are all going to be shifted. And I guess they'll settle that on their own once they get on track. And we got a minute and 23 seconds left. It's unfortunate for James Pierce. It didn't look like he had a lot of times on the board before he even got into the session. And his only qualifying opportunity was kind of botched. He had an incident which took him off track. And so there was no way for him and Rafael Santos as well to get that qualifying lap in. But there was a whole 1 hour and 45 minutes to do so. Still unfortunate for both those drivers that were trying to really set something out there. That's it. I'll be right back. All right. And the drivers are taken to the grid just now, and we got a couple of stragglers. Going off that qualifying session, just taking a brief look at, there's Scott Weber in 40. So is Ryan Bird in 42, Peter Flanner 43, Rafael Santos 44, Ken Poulin in 45, James Pierce in 46, and Christopher Roberts rounding it out in 47. As we wait for Trey Mistack and a couple others. And Trey's out there now. And that's another driver, Dom Ford in that 212. Followed by Parks De La Cruz in the 212 as well. Different liveries. But yeah, it's something. Only 7 laps this race. But it's going to be a fun one. Fun 7. And when this goes to green, it looks like Tyler Anderson's going to have the inside line for that first turn into the Nordschleife. See the long anticipated S. And we are about green here. Trey McSackle is down. He's not going to have that inside line, but Tyler Anderson is, and he's going to... They're going to go almost side by side there, but he goes through. Tyler Anderson takes the lead already off the start. And there's the gamble. Joshua Grosso gets P3 from Christopher Daniel already. The move done, and now it's going to be set for them to just be following each other through all this. And if there has been chaos, it hasn't really shown itself just yet, as we have all these drivers going one by one. Austin McGill up 1, Nathan Ray down 1, Rodrigo Theory going up to P9. Oh, and there's Chaz Mizuko, and he spins off. And he is going to be not even the right direction. And that's unfortunate for him, but that doesn't blunder anyone else there. It looked like everyone else was able to get by on that. And now Rodrigo Theory watching a fight in front of him. Elliott Burton and Nicholas Mazza going side by side, with Elliott Burton staying ahead. Decent defense there. Austin McGill is trying to make Nathan Ray look on that, but he doesn't. Eric Neville sitting there down 1 position in P12. And he is pushing, even having to use the brakes a little bit. Austin McGill sitting in between 2 Pax Oceani drivers right now. Looks like we've had a couple of drivers that have had some incidents there, but up 11 for James Pierce. He's going to have another one here down on Kyle Howe. Going to P34 for him. And Rafael Santos in P32 at the moment. He's got Connor Greer right there, and they're going to go side by side. He's not going to have the move done yet. Move isn't done just yet, but the driver's still pressing on right now. It's Austin McGill, who's sitting in P11. Still relatively close, only 0.3 difference of him and Nathan Ray ahead. Rodrigo Theory has a little bit of pressure from Nathan Ray as well, and that is very close. After go-karting IRL all day, or today, and a flight, yeah, shout out to Rodrigo. Ooh, that is Nathan Ray off. He saves it though. What a remarkable move. He is getting past, but that is a small consolation for what this driver just did. Only goes sideways, saves it. Austin gets out of the way. Every other driver misses him, and he is back there out on track. What an impressive display for Nathan Ray on his debut. Wow. He's got to contend with Eddie Layton, who's just ahead in the Pro-Am class, that teal livery there in that Mercedes. Alex Authen, kind of a sister teammate there. The Pax Oceani behind him. Another Pax Oceani of John Trevecchi in P18. No changes from Alex, Andrew, or John Trevecchi so far in the lineup. But what an impressive move. Oh no. Rafael Santos still up 9 positions, but that's a rough one for him. He must have had an incident there. Oh, God. Oh, yikes. That was Connor Greer who got back on track and just shaped up. And that was 4 drivers. Oh, yikes. That driver tries to rejoin. And that was 4 or 5 drivers all collected in that little skirmish. Oh, yikes. I thought I was just going to look at one driver who had an error, but that was a couple. I don't even know who that was. It's Dean Diltz. Oh, driver off track. That was a 212 driver. Oh, and he can't. There's nowhere for him to go. And that spurs it there. And Peter Flanner's also in the pits as well, so he's not doing too well. He started from the back, and he's P39 at the moment, so after towing, maybe he gets something done there. Austin McGill having to battle out with Dom Ford down the straight. And Eric Neville on the 3rd driver in the Pax Oceani. Moves done for Dom Ford, who's actually down 4 positions. Ooh. That's just a phantom wreck there. Noah Hodgkinson in P20, only down 1 position at the start of this race. It's got Eric Koonsman of the Draft Punk Bronze ahead of him. And they are locked in. On board with Noah Hodgkinson, who is looking to take the place here on Eric Koonsman, but it's going to be a difficult spot to do it, especially here at the first sector, if you could call it a sector, of the Nordschleife before they get into the first carousel. Ooh. That was odd. And Craig Carroll in P23. He's got Marshall Scary ahead of him right now. That's a driver that's actually in his AM class division, who's P13 in the championship. Craig Carroll's actually P1 in the championship, so he's got to pass this guy and get ahead. He's got a driver that's actually, I think, nope. Nope, this is the battle for P1 in the AM class. A little far off at the moment, but we'll get back to it as Nicholas Mazza is battling it out with Elliot Burton there for P8. Down the outside there, and Elliot Burton goes through, takes the position. And Dom Ford on Rodrigo Theory only... Ooh, Dom Ford's now down 7 positions in P12. Rodrigo Theory into 11th. Both. Alright. The relative is not working. He's down 4 positions still. Rodrigo Theory is in P8. It just hasn't reset. It's on the leaderboard, but not on the, not on this. As I speak too soon, there he goes through on Rodrigo Theory and takes P8. Now down only 3 positions. I mean, we've had some carnage so far, I'll say that. We've had some carnage. And, this replay here. Ooh. Tom Smith in P27. Ooh, way too much speed. Way too much speed. And down another driver goes. There is something to be said if you could keep it on track. You'll finish fairly well here at the Nordschleife during this race, or any of the races here that have been shown that we've raced here quite a bit. Many seasons. Some things are unavoidable, like a car crashing in front of you. That is something you can't plan for, but hey, you can get out of the way sometimes, and yeah, that was impressive. Nathan Ray saves his spin, and 2 drivers that were not 3/10 behind him were able to get out of the way. A little bit of luck, a little bit of skill, and it all worked out for them, not for others, unfortunately. As we still have a very good pack, a crowd that is still together for the most part after lap 2. Sometimes this is where you start to see the performance of the drivers come into play and relative to their actual like race times, lap after lap. I'm gonna fire the guy who has that hasn't cut down that tree yet. It's that way every time. We're gonna go over to Noah Hodgkinson, who's still behind Eric Koonsman, but he's stuck to him like glue. There are going to be a few battles out there on track that are going to be just like this one we're looking at right now. Eric Koonsman and Noah Hodgkinson were not only 1 or 2 tenths, actually 2 tenths difference here on their last lap. That's 6:53.2 and 0.4. That's a 0.5. It is impressive, but no move done just yet. This will go down to pit stops, maybe. As he's still looking to make the move. Go over to Austin McGill. Also got Rodrigo Theory in his sights. Up 2 positions from the start of this race. And this is maybe where we see some drivers reeling it in. You can see in the back that Pax Oceani driver behind Eddie Layton. That's going to be Alex Othen, who might look like he's reeling him in, but he's actually not that well. It's quite surprising. John Javecki's further back, and he's got Andrew Korstecki right there. 2 drivers that have not switched places with anyone else since the start of this race. P7, oh, actually 3. Alex Othen is up there, but he's closer to Eddie Layton at the moment. And that battle that was going on is finally here, and they're about to go side by side. And look at that. He keeps it together. Oh, no. And he's going to stay ahead. All right, let's see what happens here. Elliot Burton has a spin. Yikes. That puts him down to P16. And he's back out there. Let's go, Tyler. All right. Drivers that are impressive at the top of the board here, P1, 2, and 3, have stuck together nicely. Didn't mean to say it that way. That's a rhyme. bad one too. Christopher Daniel's not far behind, but he's got a 1 second gap to these drivers. But he can see this fight, this little battle. Moika? I don't know what that means. Joshua Grasso has the fastest lap, and he's a Pro-Am driver with that 6:37.3. As in hello. Oh, hello to you. Ankara Liho. Now, it's an impressive move for the Pro-Am driver, Joshua Grasso, to be battling it with the pros here. That purple accent shows that he has a Pro-Am colors on his livery, as well as the drivers of the pros that are in the orange. No change has been made out of these, besides that Tyler Anderson got that lucky jump off the start. And I would say same goes with Joshua Grasso, who got the move done in the first lap in the opening stages on Christopher Daniel through the first couple of corners. And that said, there's no shortage of these guys going to the end battling like this. You know, not too much of a difference there. And there's Nathan Ray, who's down 5 positions after a spin, but he's got Eddie Layton in his sights. Eddie Layton still sitting in P13, having not changed position since the start of this race. He's got Chris Stewart ahead of him, up 4. Chris Schierling up 3. He's got Elliott Burton at the end of this tail of drivers, who is down 9. It is going to be a feat for any of these drivers to pass at this moment. Both the Pax Oceani drivers are definitely going to be more receptive to not team orders, but helping each other out. But passing both of them is going to be difficult for Elliott Burton. And here's James Pierce, who's his rear just fell off. Got Connor Greer ahead of him. Actually, Connor Greer was the driver involved in the crash that made his car look like that. Undetermined, though. He is up a good amount of positions here in P34. With Rafael Santos just behind. And Nathan Ray passes Eddie Layton. One that we didn't see, but it occurred. Ooh. There's a mistake there for Elliott Burton. Just out of view, sliding onto the grass, but keeping it out of the wall, which is essential. I would say it's still mightily impressive. You have Andrew Korostecki here, who is in P17. Hasn't changed spots since the start of this race. John Javecki just behind him. And Alex Othman, who now has Eddie Layton in his sights. Can this be the move, the driver, I should say, that puts the cap for Alex Othman to go up 1 position? Only time will tell on this one. Austin McGill. Well, I think that was kind of off track there. Yeah, that was an off track for him. On board with Elliott Burton, who's got a battle in his sights here, just ahead. You can see Alex Othman, car number 94 there, Pax Oceani. Ooh! Oh! And they come together. Oh, I don't even know what to say. That just looks like one lost it and the other kind of went with him. But both didn't look like they were going to make the corner there. That is unfortunate. Dom Ford in P7 has Nicholas Mazza in his sights. Down the straight we go. F for Bolt. Yeah, that's I don't know what you can say there. Gets him there and on the straightaway passes McLaren versus Porsche there. And the move is done. Eric Neville also making a move there on the straight. Gets past Austin McGill. And you know, Alex Othen now into P16. Andrew Gorstecki was the big winner on this one. He gained 2 positions off of the shenanigans. And now Eric Neville, who's got Rodrigo Theory of Draft Punk Silver just ahead of him. Austin go behind. He is past him, so up 2. Can he make it 3? Rodrigo Theory is on borrowed time. You know, jet lagged, go-karting today, doing real-world stuff, and then jumping into a sim for this massive race. I mean, the Nordschleife is nothing to scoff at. We have lost a lot of drivers to incidents. Let's say at least 7 drivers are out because of incidents. Speaking of that, Nathan Ray has got Chris Stewart in his sights. Started pretty strong. Had a little bit of a moment, but he's recovered 2 positions so far. He's only down 4 positions. The relative is wrong. Can't trust that thing. Trey Mistack might have the move down on Tyler Anderson. He does have it down, and he gets ahead to go P1 against Tyler Anderson with Joshua Grosso just behind. And that 1.1 second gap is 1.3 now, so it's only 0.2 difference there for Christopher Daniel in P4. Probably going to welcome this one, though. He's P5 in the championship. He's got Eric Neville ahead of him in P3. Jacob Simmons is not here tonight to race, but Eric Neville is in P9. So it's going to be a big jump for Christopher Daniel. Trey Mistack is leading the Pro Championship right now and is leading this race as well in P1. Austin McGill is stuck to Eric Neville like glue almost. Only 1/10 difference that separate these 2 drivers. You can see he's really fighting that wheel, making small course adjustments, even having to back out entirely. He's lost a little bit of time there. So we're going to get to the first carousel. Maybe? I thought that was the corner. Yeah, it is. There it is. Lost faith in myself for that one. And the move isn't just quite on yet for Nathan Ray here and Chris Stewart. We'll pop over to Joshua Grosso, who doesn't have the fastest lap anymore. That would now go to Tyler Anderson, who's got that 6:36.2. That is an impressive lap. That was the last lap, too. And to be said, the best lap was, for all three drivers, was last lap. So they were really pushing each other hard here. And yeah, saying that, Christopher Daniel, who had a 1.4 second gap to Joshua Grosso, has now joined this fight. P1 through 4, rounding out the second bus stop they go through. And look at that, Christopher Daniel opting for the higher line. And honestly, I think that was because he did have a little bit of a moment there. It was a little bit of a wiggle, and he did slow down in that 0.3 difference that he was now going to have to claw that back, as he's now 1.2 seconds back. It's better than being in the wall, though, because it looked like that could have happened for him. That would have been unfortunate. Alex Otten down here in P16. He's got Andrew Korostecki ahead of him. And they've been pretty close this entire race. I get what's most notable, Andrew Korostecki's last lap was really, really strong. That was his fastest one that he's done so far. Alex Otten, a 3-second difference to Andrew Korostecki on that last lap. Not sure if he had a moment there. And he's going to go to the inside. Does he have it down on Andrew Korostecki here? He doesn't. Everyone's pitting right now. Who's going to come out first? Trey Mistak is out. Actually, I don't know who's out first. Tyler Anderson's out first. Joshua Grosso's taken into second. And Trey Mistak is into third. Oh, wow. Christopher Daniel is out in fourth. Dom Ford out in fifth. Eric Neville in sixth. Rodrigo Theory in seventh, now up 3 positions. Parks De La Cruz is in 8th, down 2, but out there. Everyone is pitting, and Nicholas Mazza and Chris Stewart are now 10th and 11th. Austin McGill ahead of them. Nathan Ray, where did he stack up? He's down 3, and he's in 12th now. Ahead of Chris Chitterling. That was something else. Everyone pitting at the same time. That is quite something. Dave Palmer hasn't been able to get into the pits just yet. He's the only driver that hasn't made a move. Trey Mistak, with 3 laps to go, has got to contend with 2 positions here. Tyler Anderson quite possibly could finish this race in first. Joshua Grosso, who is sitting, I want to say, in a very difficult spot in that Pro-Am class. P22 in the Pro-Am class. Having missed Watkins and Barber of Naro Racing Team, the admin team of Noah Hoskinson and Joshua Grosso. And he's second in this race. And the difference there for Trey Mistak is he did a 25.0 on that pit stop. Joshua Grosso, 22.5 and the 22.9 at Tyler Anderson. That's the difference there. That 3-second gap. And Trey Mistak did not have that 3-second gap when they were out there on track, so it's unfortunate for him, is he has lost this P1 in the pit stops after overtaking Tyler Anderson as well. And I think the winners on that one are Eric Neville, who is now in P6. He was in 9th. Rodrigo Theory, now in 7th. Parks de la Cruz, while technically down 2, I mean, he's got a good run in here. It's not even that... Ooh. Nicholas Mazza and Austin McGill come to blows there. Chris Stewart gets by. Nicholas Mazza back out there. Eddie Layton's going to cross by. It looked like they kind of... They touched a little bit. Tyler told me he's going to crash next lap. I'll tell him to do it in style. And there's Trey Mistak making the move down to a fast sector here. Just before the first carousel, he's got one position back. He started on pole and he wants to finish on pole. Yeah, he's got a 1 second gap to Tyler Anderson. Christopher Daniel, another guy who didn't really luck out on this one. He's now got a 1.9 second gap to Joshua Grasso, who goes back into his spot in P3. Started P4 though. Now, where did this shake up for the other Pax Oceani guys? Alex Othen in P17. So John Chavecki got ahead of him, but he's not close to Andrew Korsecki. He's actually got a huge margin difference on Andrew Korsecki there in P15. That's the guy he was battling out. Drivers where things worked out. Chris Schitterling is up 2 in P12. I've not seen him specifically in this race having to battle anyone, but that might be for the better. Little Lugnuts is doing what it's supposed to be doing. They are leading the championship. Chris Schitterling. Whoa! There's Nathan Ray taking a moment in the sand there. But back out on track and keeping it smart. This Pax Oceani driver on his debut is saving it and continuing to push along. It's impressive. And Chris Chitterling and Charles Whedon of Little Lugnuts. And Eric Neville is going to get ahead of Dom Ford for piece 5. And just behind, we've got Rodrigo Theory also having to contend with Parks de la Cruz. These 212 drivers, both in those sporting those liveries. There's a couple other 212 drivers. I'm not even sure what the racing team is called. 212. Trey is rage fueled by the pain of not winning the World Driver Championship. Oh, Lando, yeah. Yeah. That one, congrats to Max Verstappen. That's awesome. I was winning. I was hoping for that the entire time. He's my fave. I think he'd be fueled by rage, having been put into P3 after a pit stop where he was P1. And Rodrigo Theory staying ahead of Parks de la Cruz, P7 so far. Chris Schitterling just gets passed there by Chris Stewart, and he's got Nathan Ray just behind. He's actually really caught up to the back of him here. Dom Ford and Eric Neville are going to go side by side into the first corner, and it looks like they're going to continue to go side by side. Oh, Eric Neville gets ahead and stays ahead. With 2 laps to go, there is still a lot of battling happening out on the track. Some people would resign themselves to just being like, this is my spot. I don't have anyone around me. And for, I'd say the majority of the grid, that is the case. But for these drivers here in P1 through 16, that isn't the case. they are going to be battling up until that bitter end on that checkered flag, as Chris Schitterling looks to prove himself against the pro driver behind it. I think he's a pro driver. Yeah, pro driver. And Chris Stewart, who he's fighting in the Pro-Am class. And Dom Ford gets ahead. And we'll put this on replay here. He just sends it on the outside line and gets ahead and keeps it ahead there. And these three are all battling for position. Chris Stewart in P10, Chris Schitterling in P11, Nathan Ray in 12. And this is quite something. They're all separated by 1/10. They are all glued to each other. Chris Schitterling is P2 in the championship in the Pro-Am class. Chris Stewart is P11 in the championship for the Pro-Am. Nicholas Mazza, also out there, is in P14 behind Chris Schitterling, so it's going to be a bigger boost of points for Christopher Schitterling here. His rival in the top three, actually, who is P1, is behind him. So good haul of points for him. So Nathan Ray is testing fate and the racing gods by continuing to go off track and keeping it together. Who are you? Am I going to curse? I curse nobody. Tyler Anderson leads this race by now 1/10. He had a full second on Trey Mistack. 2 laps ago, Trey has a lot of opportunities around this track to find something. The curses don't really happen so much as they've... Is it like a full sin and you just commentary? Yeah, this is iRacing Simulator. It's Rodrigo Theories looked almost like he had a spot there on Eric Neville and Dom Ford. Now 4 drivers are all coming together from P5 to P8. I would say it's over. There's Chris Schitterling. Oh! And that is one he cannot save. That is Nathan Ray. And he is out. I guess that's the one I curse, if that was what you're thinking there. His debut was impressive. It's Uber for someone, that's for sure. Yeah. I guess if anybody, it would have been Nathan. Yeah. That was an unfortunate incident. I did say he was testing fate. So some people are going to gain positions naturally through this. Yeah, you'll need an Uber, yeah. Going over to Matt Benson, who's got Steve McAllister in his sights here for Caffeine Golden Motorsports of Steve McAllister. I think P2 in the championship. Matt Benson joining us here. I think he's been to all 3 races. Yeah, he's P9 in the Pro-Am class championship. And he's got Scott Weber ahead of him. He's also a Pro-Am driver. He's just got to get past Steve and join the fight for the drivers ahead of him in his class. Nicholas Mazza and Eddie Layton are pretty close, but I don't think this is just quite on. These 4 drivers are as close as it gets. And there he goes down the inside line. Eric Neville is going to take that inside, gets ahead of Dom Ford, and then he's got Rodrigo Theory to contend with, who's sitting there right behind. They're going to go side by side the next corner here. And Parks de la Cruz might be able to snatch something away from this. Oh, and Trey Mistak has it down on the straightaway. Ooh. And they get a little swervy there. They got side by side. Kyle Anderson keeps it ahead, but they almost came together there. Back over to Dom Ford. Eric Neville ahead. And Rodrigo Theory keeping it just a nose ahead of Dom Ford, making the move. Another change in the order here. Chris Schierling almost had a move down on Nicholas Mazza for position. And now back over to Trey Mistak. Actually, no, it's not over. Dom Ford gets it down on the inside line into turn one. And they're going to continue this battle for a little bit longer. This has just helped Eric Neville. Whoa! And Parks de la Cruz is the winner on that one. As Dom Ford also is going to be parking this thing. Yikes. Rodrigo Theory is out. Parks de la Cruz is the, I guess, the overall winner on that battle. But they're all three really come together there. And they came together. Chris Schierling also being a little bit of a benefit there. He's got Chris Stewart ahead of him now. Eddie Layton now has no one in sights. He's going to be doing just fine. It's John Javecki and Alex Offen also getting a benefit here. Nicholas Mazza just ahead of John Javecki. That's no bueno. It's right on the final lap as well. You don't like to see it. As we have Trey Mistak in P2. Tyler Anderson ahead of him. Tyler Anderson also sitting P7 in the Pro Class Championship. Yeah, whatever happened to that crash. Chris Schierling still behind Nicholas Mazza here. Looked like he was close though. At one point, get ahead. Not just yet. John Javecki ever so close. The move isn't really down here in this corner. Elliot Burton gaining some positions off of that incident that occurred. Matt Benson still behind Steve McAllister here at the moment. Hasn't made the move down, but I think it's down to our race leaders here. Tyler Anderson still ahead here. Joshua Grosso keeping well in pace with these two drivers. Not only still under a second. Hopping on board here. Just got to test my brakes. It might come down to the straightaway again. Maybe Trey is going to conserve himself for that final stretch and really just stick it. I think they did come together slightly. And Chris Schierling got that move down on Chris Stewart. So the battle of Chris's isn't just quite over. I mean, you still got Christopher Daniel in P4, so he's the ultimate Chris winner here. Let's go Shredback. All right, Mark. Let's see who your favorite is. He's got a 7/10 difference now to Tyler Anderson. Ooh, who's that there? Tom Smith. That's one way to solve a blue flag. Oh yeah, a couple people are still towing. That's rough. Like this battle's not quite there just yet, but we'll just keep it on our race leaders here. It's the final lap. They're going into the second bus stop, which means that this is bus stop carousel, and he's back to 3/10 here. So once he gets into the straightaway, he's got to reel him in. I expect elbows fully out for both drivers as they go through, and Joshua Grosso is going to win this race because these two are gonna definitely come into contact. And if they don't, hey, that's interesting too. He's getting ever so close, and he gets that inside line, and they are going to go side by side to the next corners. And it will almost certainly, if he doesn't have it, yep, there's that. And they both come together. And Joshua Grosso comes home to win this race. And that is a race win for Joshua Grosso, Christopher Daniel into P2, Tyler Anderson hurdling to make it into P3. He's not quite there. Trey Mistak has gone into the pit lane, and he is still spinning. Parks De La Cruz, or Eric Neville, is actually in P4, and he's going to finish in P3. Tyler Anderson's still trying to get out there. Parks De La Cruz goes into 4th. Chris Schurterling goes into 5th. No, Chris Schurterling gets 5th. Tyler Anderson goes to 6th. Chris Stewart into 7th. Eddie Layton into 8th. Andrew Korstecki is going to finish in 9th. Austin McGill goes into the pit lane. Ooh, maybe to serve a penalty. He might be not that. That is... I'm not sure. I think Austin McGill was 11th. Nicholas Mazzo was 12th. John Javecki in 13th. Eric Koonsman is in 14th. Trey Mistak. It's not over for him. He could lose some more positions. Actually, he's going biggest... for two people, sure. But there was a four-man pileup, a four-man crash in this race that was pretty gnarly. People are still out there, and people are still getting things done. Yeah, I will say that is indeed the craziest thing. Matthew Baldwin finishes in 15th. Chaz Mizuko in 16th. Michael Scari in 17th. Craig Carroll will still probably... I called Christopher Daniel P2 2 laps ago. I mean, yeah. Trey Misek is still going to be going down the board with any driver that's still on the lead lap. Craig Carroll is going to be in P18. Matt Benson in 18. Steve McAllister in 19. Jason Chen into 20. I don't know if that's right. Yeah, 21. Scott Weber in 22. Driver's still out there. 22. Tyler Kern in 23. More as he ascends the ladder there. Elliot Burton. Now, an unstoppable force meets an immovable object that double packs Oceani podium. There is that. And it's just going to continue down this path as Elliot Burton goes to P24. Dave Palmer still out there, and he's going to go to P25. He's only got a couple corners to contend with, I believe. Yep. And Michael Ocean's on the straight. He's going to finish in P26. He's still on the lead lap. Rafael Santos just behind in P27. Trey Missex went into the pits off of that. And Kyle Howe also on the straight. Michael Ocean's now P26. We're going to cross the line. Rafael Santos in 27. And Kyle Howe, a few corners to go, will be P28. Peter Flanner, a last first. Ooh. Oh, that's on me. He's going to go ahead of Trey Mistack for P29. Charles Whedon is on the main lap. And thanks for the follow there, and Carlisle. Charles Whedon is going to finish in P30. He's 31 at the... there he goes. Take that. Zachary Hintonhoff, also out there as well. Going to finish in P31. And Jaming Zhen also got a little bit ways to go. A couple more corners. He's going to finish P32. That said, that is going to round it out with Trey Misek in 33, Jeff Lubitsch in 34, Don Ford in 35, Rodrigo Theory 36, Tom Smith in 37, James Pierce 38, Nathan Ray in 39, Connor Greer in 40, Noah Hodgkinson 41, Dean Dilson 42, Christopher Roberts 43, Tyler Kokeko in 44, Matthias De Paula in 45, Ryan Bird in 46, and Ken Poulin in 47. That rounds that all out, and we will go over to Joshua Grasso. Thank you for joining me. Congratulations on that P1 finish. How did it feel? You were front row seats to the action there at the end. Yep. Oh, can you say something again?
Oh, is it not working?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Nice. So how did it feel? Great win. Kind of foresaw that moment. What was it like, being front and center for that one?
I mean, I was preparing for it in case it happened, but of course you don't want to see it end that way.
Absolutely, you don't want to see it end that way. You had a great move done on is that Christopher Daniel at the opening. You kept it ahead as well. With that said, were you worried post pit stops? I mean, I did see you got the jump on Trey Mistak, but did you kind of foresee that he might get ahead again when he was going for that move?
Yeah, I definitely didn't expect to keep him behind me.
Well, it was it was really really well fought for him. It looked like you could have almost been in that contact. So you were prepared, so you're able to slow yourself down enough to navigate the waters there. Well, truly, congratulations. You got a P1, the Pro-Am driver to finish ahead of the pros and on the top step, but that's got to feel good.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't expect it to continue, though, because I'm kind of a Nords ringer.
Understandable. Well, congratulations. It's exciting to see that you were just right there. You had the fastest lap on, I think, lap 2 or 3. You got it taken away from you by Tyler Anderson, but I mean, you guys were all pushing each other really hard. I thought that maybe Christopher Daniel could get some more pressure onto you when he was in P4 and he got right behind, but he did have a little bit of a mistake, which caused him to kind of roll away from you again. But ultimately, I mean, that was great. That was great racing by all of you there.
Yeah, it was.
And with that said, congratulations! I can't wait to see what you do on the next one if you end up joining.
Yep. Thanks, man. As always, appreciate the broadcast.
Yeah, yeah. Christopher Daniel, congratulations for the Pax Oceani, Ronnie and Clyde. Um, P2 finish there. That's got to feel good considering your teammate has not here to help you out.
Yeah, appreciate it, Jason. Yeah, everything went pretty good. I hate it for Tyler and Anderson. Tyler and Trey. But yeah, I mean, That's so hard to win in this league. So yeah, I'll take a P2 finish any day of the week.
I mean, it's a very strong set of drivers. I mean, you're also a strong driver yourself. I mean, what a performance! You really were. You were about a 1.3 second gap to P3, but then you pulled you reeled in Joshua Grosso. I think you had a moment in the second carousel which reeled you away from them. I mean, you were 3/10 by the time you caught up. I mean, you caught up to him. You're 3/10 behind Joshua Grosso as they were battling. But I did see you had a moment in the bus stop or in the second carousel. Then you went back to 1.3 seconds back, and so then you're kind of, I think you're just battling that out. How'd that feel throughout the race? Did it feel like that was happening, like little mistakes, kind of reeling away from them?
Yeah, I was trying to keep the rear tires underneath me, and that was just really hard to do with the Mustang, especially as the track temp went up. But yeah, I did lose it in the carousel. I had a bent steering wheel, so the last 3 laps or 2 laps, I pretty much drove, at like a 45-degree angle to hold it straight.
Oh, okay, that's got to be quite something. Also, finishing P2, you did have a great result there. Um, were you worried at all when you saw the accident ahead of you, like we're trying to navigate because they were going across the track?
Yeah, yeah, that was pretty nerve-wracking. I ended up backing off the gas and hitting the brakes a little bit, but these guys know what they're doing up front. They knew to hold their brakes, and it looked like by the time that I got up there, they were pretty much stopping. So
Yeah,
at first, I was thinking Josh was going to get caught up in it, but he made it through. So kudos to him to the win.
absolutely. I mean, also kudos for the Pax Oceani sister team double podium there. That's got to feel great. You guys are on a voice chat together, so that's got to feel good. Did you guys talk that out at all?
No, we were really quiet. I mean, this track is so nerve-wracking. You probably know how it is to drive, but
Absolutely, yeah.
yeah,
It is
there
nerve
wasn't
wracking.
much talking. Yeah, there was
Okay.
no talking.
Well, that's something. Kudos and congrats for Nathan Ray to get that spot up in the top. He was doing so well throughout the entire race. I think I cursed him a little bit because I was
Oh
praising
no.
his. I was giving him a lot of praise. He saved his car at one moment. He was almost horizontal on the track, but whipped that thing back on, caused no incident, dropped like 6 positions, gained a couple back, then making little mistakes here and there. I was noticing, and then he just had one into the wall and kind of ended the whole thing.
Oh, stinks. I didn't know that. Yeah, I saw him drop out of the chat. I didn't know that he wrecked though. But yeah, he's pretty quick. He's really good in a prototype, and anytime he shows up for a race, you better bring your A game.
Yeah, I mean, he's an impressive driver to see him defensive and offensive on the track. It was really good. Congrats to him. Eric Neville was in here for a sec, in the cooldown room for a second, but he looks like he went away. But tell him congratulations. He was also, one of those drivers that did a smart pit stop. He got ahead of a couple people and he kept it ahead. I mean, he had a very strong race himself. Congrats to all you guys on the Pax Oceani, Ronnie Clyde, Potato Pop, and the Silly Gooses. I mean, it's always great to see those purple liveries out there, putting the pressure onto other drivers. It was really great racing out of all you guys. Very clean as well.
Yeah, that's what we try to pride ourselves in. Good, clean racing. Always try to show up for the race prepared, and that's what we did this week. Appreciate John and Matt coming out, and I think we spent about 2 extra hours on Friday night going around this place just trying to figure it out and just work on setup. So yeah, kudos to the team for putting in the work. It really shows. But yeah, we'll bring it back next week. Is it Portimao? Is that right? Algarve?
Uh,
Which one is it?
I
It's the
mean,
same, ain't it? I don't know.
I think it's Algrave. I think maybe.
Okay,
I'm
no
not
worries.
sure. But we'll see. We'll see on round 5. I
See you
can't wait
next
to see
week.
you guys. Yeah, can't wait to see what you guys do. Once again, congratulations on that P2. I know it wasn't under the best of circumstances, but you take them where you can.
Yeah, exactly, man. Appreciate the stream. I'll go back and watch it, and appreciate everything you do. We'll see you.
Yeah. Thanks.
All right, have a good night.
Bye.
Hey, bud.
That's it, everybody. Thanks, Mark Foley. Yeah, I always do this. Round 5 going to be next week. Tinzali X for the subprime. Appreciate that. We'll be back. And there is a new thing as well. We are going to have the Broken Wing Racing Le Mans series, which is going to be a LMP and GT3 multi-class racing, and it will be an endurance racing. So take a look out for that. We'll add that to the schedule, and I will be streaming those. More than likely, all of them if I can make them all. But we're going to be doing a practice one on December 2nd. So be on the lookout for that. We will update you guys further on that one as the rest of the rounds kind of come together. So I'll see you next week, and we'll have more details on that for you probably by then. And as always, thanks for joining me. Take care.